Good evening, lovely to have you with us. Coming up on BBC London. The Silvertown Tunnel opens in East London, stretching under the Thames, but questions remain over the river crossing's environmental impact and the cost to cross.
I'm impressed. The traffic in Blackwall tunnel was horrible.
I'll say within a couple of weeks' time it's going to be absolutely chaotic, pandemonium.
Also ahead tonight, after attacks on wildlife in many of our parks, calls for tougher laws around the sale and possession of catapults. Caring for loved ones 24/7, we find out how some hotels are now offering respite to unpaid carers. Plus,
this is for those of you who like your egg hunts extra large. Join me later for lots of ideas on what to do over the Easter holiday without having to shell out.
and another symbol of spring, you've been sending in your pictures of some terrific tulips around the capital. Hello and a very warm welcome to the programme. First tonight, take a look at the first new Thames Road crossing in more than 60 years, which officially opened today. The Silvertown Tunnel stretches almost a mile from Greenwich to Newham, next to the Blackwall Tunnel. Both the East London crossings are tolled. Silvertown is still not without controversy for both its environmental impact and its cost to commuters. Our transport correspondent Tom Edwards reports.
Can a road tunnel be green? The Mayor thinks so, and this morning caught a zero-emissions bus through the new Silvertown Tunnel. Are you embarrassed a bit that you are opening a road tunnel?
I'm so excited. We've managed to have this tunnel open on time, on budget. The improvements there are for those in South East London are humongous. The green package means cyclists get to go from one side of the river to the other for the first time ever, and it's going to be for free. Pedestrians can go from one side of the river to the other for free, one of our buses.
There are 21 free buses an hour, and this a bus for bikes. TfL hopes the Silvertown will cut congestion at the crossing, but there are big questions about pollution, and larger HGVs will now be able to use it, and there's opposition.
I feel angry, I feel disappointed, I feel sorry for the children in the future who have to put up with this extra traffic, extra pollution. That money should have been spent on something reducing carbon emissions for the climate crisis and reducing air pollution.
From today, vehicles will also have to pay to use the Silvertown and the Blackwall Tunnel next door. TfL says tolls control congestion and pollution.
Now, the Silvertown Tunnel has opened this morning, as you've been hearing in the news. Traffic is flowing both ways into the Silvertown Tunnel and the Blackwall Tunnel.
Anecdotally, there seemed to be more traffic on the Dartford crossing. For Louise, a teacher in Hackney, using Silvertown will now mean an extra £8 a day.
As a teacher, it would be nice to get some kind of discount as a key worker, someone who puts back into the community. Going on public transport isn't really an option for me because I have to carry a lot of books around. I'm an English teacher, so it's really frustrating.
There will be bigger tests ahead for this crossing. Roads were quieter due to the Easter holidays. But for the first time in over 20 years, road charging has returned to the capital. Tom Edwards, BBC London.
Well, the crossing has been a long time coming, and one of its key aims was to address congestion in that part of the capital. Our reporter Matt Graveling has spent the day with drivers in East London on both sides of the river.
After 13 years and £2.2 billion, this 1 mile stretch is now open for business. While the Silvertown Tunnel will be used by many motorists, today we're focusing on two. First, meet Mikhail. Mikhail runs 5 vehicles plus subcontractors within the M25, promising customers a quick pickup of their packages, not always easy for his drivers living out east.
In the morning, before, it took them 1.5 hours or 2 hours to collect a parcel or a pallet from Greenwich. Now, maybe it will be 15 minutes.
This was Mikhail's first journey through the Silvertown Tunnel.
I'm impressed. The traffic in Blackwall Tunnel was horrible. Sometimes it was more convenient to take the ferry at Woolwich, so the traffic, as you can see, is very light.
However, there were a couple of wrong turns, seemingly due to sat-navs needing an update to accommodate new routes and roundabouts. So Mikhail's business is all about timing, getting from point A to B as quickly as possible. So for him, the tunnel is a good thing, but there are other considerations. And one of those is money. Dom runs this waste management company here, and it's got over 100 staff and more than 50 vehicles. And for him, costs are going to increase. Dominic is managing director of Westminster Waste. Just 24 hours after the increase in employers' national insurance contributions, another blow to their budget.
Look, infrastructure has to be paid for. We know that, but higher business rates, costs, more tolls, it's just increasing, and it's making people hesitant to grow their business, and I'm led to believe these type of businesses are the backbone of the country. Now, we're going backwards. We need people at work to pay tax.
2 employees here have already considered quitting due to the new costs of their daily commute through the tunnel. Dave is the fleet director.
It's half term for the children, so it's made the traffic a little bit lighter, but I'd say within a couple of weeks' time it's going to be absolutely chaotic, pandemonium.
So, while tunnel charges will depend on type of vehicles and time of day, just what does it mean for Dave?
4 trips per truck per day. You're looking north of 300,000 with the NI contribution. That's £500,000
every year.
Every year.
The Mayor of London has called the tunnel a vital link across East London. However, this new connection is already dividing opinion. Matt Graveling, BBC London.
Well, we're keen to hear from you on this. Did you drive through the Silvertown Tunnel today? Do you live in the area, and how does it affect you? Tell us about your experience, or perhaps to ask a question. Just get in touch by email using the address on your screen. Hello, bbclondon@bbc.co.uk. Let's turn now to some of the day's other news. The family of 15-year-old Isaiah Smith, who died after he went swimming in a lake in southeast London, have paid tribute to his infectious smile, kindness and unwavering dedication to others. He was found in Beckenham Place Park late on Friday, more than 7 hours after he went missing in the water. Around £50,000 worth of stolen tools have been recovered during a Met Police operation at a car boot sale in Rainham over the weekend. 4 men aged between 40 and 60 were arrested on suspicion of handling stolen goods. And dozens of hot air balloons are set to soar above London's skyline later this year for the first time since 2019. The Lord Mayor's hot air balloon regatta could happen as early as the 11th of May, weather permitting, but organisers have also earmarked 2 standby dates in July. Wildlife campaigners say attacks on birds and animals at some of our parks are becoming almost a daily occurrence, with catapults being used to maim or kill them. Swans and geese have been attacked with ball bearings, with foxes, squirrels and pigeons also targeted. There are now calls for tougher laws around the sale and possession of catapults. And just a warning, you might find some of the images in Aisha Baksh's report upsetting.
It's a tranquil spot for both people and wildlife, but over the last few years, Priory Gardens in Orpington has become a target for all the wrong reasons. These distressing pictures show birds who've been attacked with catapults and ammunition such as steel ball bearings. Jackie Mitchell is a volunteer here and says it's now become a daily occurrence.
Seen a Canada goose being killed by 2 kids by catapult, and I saw it writhing around in pain and dying in front of my eyes. That was horrific.
And it's an issue being felt across London and the South East. A few months ago here at Beddington Park in Sutton, a female swan was killed. An X-ray found it had been shot in the head with a ball bearing.
Save our wildlife, stop the catapults.
And this weekend, local residents and campaigners held a protest at Priory Gardens, calling for better protection for its wildlife and stronger laws around catapults.
And it's just not right. Something has to be done on a local level, government level. You can't carry on like this. It's just not fair and it's just cruel. It's just cruel.
They're not silly, these youths. They're not here all the time. And the police can't be here 24/7. So we need the public on our side to stop this. And parents, they need to take responsibility.
It's not currently illegal for anyone to buy or carry a catapult. The park protest was organised by wildlife campaigner Ray Gilal, who says the legislation needs changing.
So we need to introduce regulation around the sale and carrying of catapults. They are potentially a very dangerous weapon. A child should not be able to access a weapon that can cause so much damage to people, animals, property. What we want to see is age restrictions on who can buy a catapult, a bit similar to how they're talking about introducing age verification if someone buys a knife.
The Met Police say an investigation into the attacks is ongoing, and 2 teenagers were recently arrested in Orpington and catapults seized. And while an online petition to the government is gathering support, the Home Office say there are legitimate catapult owners, but the issue is under review. Aisha Baksh, BBC London.
Meanwhile, you might remember a few weeks ago we brought you the story of the first eggs being laid by peregrine falcons on top of St Albans Cathedral. Well, the live stream has now been taken offline after the eggs appeared to be deliberately smashed. Many viewers of the feed reported an individual seen walking across the nest, destroying the eggs. Hertfordshire Police said it was investigating the incident. And the falcons have now established the site as their breeding site. This being the 5th year, the pair had laid 3 eggs in the shingle nesting tray, which replicates their natural clifftop nesting habitat. Thanks for joining us this Monday. Still to come before 7.
I'm here in this glorious field of tulips, but it's not in Holland, it's actually in Hertfordshire.
Now, it's been almost 20 years since Jean-Charles de Menezes was shot dead in a South London tube station by police after being mistaken for a terror suspect. His family says they will continue to fight for justice and have welcomed a new TV drama which explores the events around his killing. Adina Campbell has this report.
Suspect, a new 4-part drama about the tragic death of Jean-Charles de Menezes. The Brazilian electrician was mistaken for a terrorist and shot dead by police at Stockwell tube station. His family says this new series finally reveals the truth.
I was reassured that the truth was being told to clear my son's memory. He was educated, he was civilized, he was a boy who studied. He had good intelligence to live on Earth without having to be killed so young.
The drama follows the police operation after the 2005 London terror attacks. The day before he was killed, suicide bombers targeted the London transport network again, but failed. Mr. de Menezes was wrongly identified as one of the suspects. He was followed and then shot in the head and shoulder by 2 police marksmen. Did you all agree as a family that this was the right decision for your son's story to be told in this way?
We're very happy that the truth about my brother's life is being told. The life of struggle, his roots in rural Brazil, how he moved to another country in search of a better life.
The Metropolitan Police says the 27-year-old's death is a matter of deep regret and has reiterated its apology to his family. The series was written and exclusively produced by Jeff Pope, who says it's taken 5 years to make.
This is a huge responsibility, and this wasn't something that you could short circuit. It was an incredibly difficult piece to wrangle, to kind of understand what you wanted to say.
So I'm sure you're all now aware of the shooting by CO19 officers at Stockwell tube station.
The Metropolitan Police was found guilty of breaching health and safety laws and fined. An inquest jury later returned an open verdict, and cleared Dame Cressida Dick, who was in charge of the operation, of any blame. The Met Police settled a damages claim with the family, but 2 decades on, the family say they will never stop fighting for justice.
She's 80. She just left this small town, like the other side of the world, to come here to still fight for him. 20 years gone, but this loss is still echoes in our hearts, because a life is priceless. Keep up the fighting. You're brave. A senhora é muito corajosa, tia.
Não é que a gente é corajoso.
It's not about being brave.
É que na verdade a gente tem que ser forte.
It's about fighting.
A gente tem que ser forte, a gente tem que lutar para viver.
Fighting to live.
Adina Campbell, BBC London.
Now, there are nearly 600,000 unpaid carers in London, contributing billions to the economy. Today, the carers' weekly allowance they receive went up. But while there's financial support for some carers, very few get any respite from their caring responsibilities. One charity is trying to change that and connect them with hotels that have spare capacity where they can stay for free. And it's already proved a lifeline for some, as Victoria Hollins can tell us.
No, Arlo, don't eat it.
Gabrielle is a full-time carer for her son Arlo. She says he's a cuddly, energetic and special little boy. But he also has autism and finds it hard to communicate.
Being a parent to a child with special needs is so much more than just being a parent. You are their 24-hour watcher. You cannot leave them alone. I have to constantly keep an eye on him, and you don't get a break.
But Gabrielle and her partner did recently get to go away for free thanks to the charity Carefree. It connects unpaid carers with hotels that have spare capacity.
I think the first thing for carers is that they feel recognised. They are a very much invisible part of our society when it comes to who is providing the backbone of our health and social care system. So the fact that they're identified, they're recognised, they're congratulated and supported to continue their caring role, and also it's something that makes a genuine positive difference to their life.
There are more than 590,000 unpaid carers in London, contributing nearly £19 billion to the capital's economy every year. Susan Copping has been the full-time carer for her 103-year-old mum for 10 years. She's just spent 2 nights at a hotel in Islington via the Carefree charity.
She's absolutely wonderful, but it is pretty full on now, especially in the last 2 or 3 years. So the recharge is just being off duty altogether. I can sleep, I can read, I can do a crossword. I'm not limited by time at all.
Hotels have provided almost 13,000 carer breaks for free so far, worth £3.5 million.
Yesterday we went to a comedy club in the evening, which was fantastic.
The fact that we can give these unsold rooms for people for better use and to really recognise them was a no-brainer for us. When they come, they don't just come to stay the night. They have a packed agenda. They go and see shows. They do sing. They go and see, art exhibitions and so on.
Where's the camera?
Finding interim care is still a huge challenge for many families, but for those that can, the impact of a short break away can be life-changing.
The buzz you get from just being recharged and switching off, even for one night, just one night away, it's made my mind open up now.
Victoria Hollins, BBC London.
OK, bit of a clue what we're going to talk about next, because as many families across the capital will know, the Easter holidays are underway for many school children. And what to do during these sunny days will be a hot topic for many. So we've been looking at how to make the most of what London has to offer while not breaking the bank. Lakshmi Gopal is out in South London and can tell us more. Lakshmi.
Riz, why do a normal egg hunt when you can do London's big egg hunt? This is one of 21 eggs hidden around Battersea Power Station site, and they're among 100 eggs scattered around the capital. You can download a free app to try and find them all. They're hidden in places like Covent Garden, Canary Wharf, and even Buckingham Palace, if you like soldiers with your egg. Sorry, couldn't resist. But there are also plenty of other things going on over Easter for you to do. Sticking with the theme of egg hunts, there are egg hunts at London Zoo, Hampton Court Palace, Ham House and Gardens, and at various National Trust properties. And you can even do one along the Thames in a Thames rocket. And if by the end of it all you've just eaten far too many chocolate eggs, you can burn it all off by doing the London Easter 10K at Regent's Park. That's on Easter Monday. But if you're after something a little bit more sedate and you're in the market for some free family activities, then you can do some nature road shows at Regent's Park, Richmond Park or Bushy Park. And they've got various activities like scavenger trails and nature crafts and interactive games. And there's also an entire festival dedicated to spring, and that's at the Horniman Museum and Gardens, and that includes an animal walk and seed planting, and that's on Easter Saturday on the 19th. And of course, there are plenty more things that you can do if you're looking for things to do during Easter on a budget. You can go to your local authority's webpage to find out, and you can go to your local library for more free events there. And this free event, the big egg hunt, concludes on the 27th of April, and after that all these eggs, each with a unique design, will be auctioned off, and the money raised will go to the Elephant Family Charity. So you can have your eggs with a side of good deeds as well, Riz.
I see what you did there, Lakshmi. Thank you, some really useful information, appreciate it. Lakshmi Gopal there. Well, some lovely weather to kick off the Easter holidays, and flowers blooming, another symbol, of course, of spring. And today you've been sending us some of your terrific tulip pictures. You might even spot yours. Well, a good place to spot some of them, rows of them in fact, is in Hertfordshire at Tully's Tulip Fields, which will open to the public this coming weekend. Well, Layla Hayes is there for us this evening ahead of that, and Layla, gosh, looks absolutely stunning.
Oh, Riz, it really is lovely, isn't it? And I've been taking a little sneaky peek at these beautiful tulip fields today before the crowds get here. So just take a look at these fields. 500,000 bulbs have been planted here, and there will be 100 different varieties of tulips blooming here in the next few weeks. Well, Stuart Beer is the owner of Tully's Farm. He joins me now. Stuart, this is the first time that you have planted the tulips here in Hertfordshire. So tell me what visitors can expect when they come here.
That's right. Well, we did it last year for the first time down at our Tully's Farm in Sussex. And this is kind of a relative copy of that. So we've got 100 different varieties of tulips, fabulous colours. There's food, there's coffee, teas, and lots of photo opportunities. From old tractors to hearts in the middle of the field, and a perfect Instagram picture.
And I know you were hoping to open last Saturday, right. But it was slightly delayed. Tell me why that was.
Well, it's just that the winter that we've had has been much colder. Last year we actually opened on the 28th of March, so we're 2 weeks later for this location here. And I think it's just the ground conditions were cold, although it's lovely and sunny now. They could do with a bit of rain, actually. So, dare I say, we could do a little bit. And the farmer's never happy, is he?
Yeah, so have you been sort of watering them and keeping them ready?
No, not on this scale. We haven't at all. No water, so we're praying for some rain.
And you mentioned it's a very sort of Instagrammable thing, isn't it? It feels like tulips have become very fashionable. They're very trendy at the moment. Why do you think that is?
That's right. I think it's Instagram. I think it's TikTok, Instagram, and the whole... Obviously, they're very, very popular in Holland. A lot of people will travel out to Holland to see them, and they're absolutely fabulous. We actually picked this idea up from the States as a seasonal thing. We're a seasonal events business based around sort of horticulture, and tulips fit within the season perfectly. It's the first colour of spring, and yeah.
And how long will these tulips last here?
Should be 3 to 4 weeks. So we sort of think that we'll be probably the 5th of May, roughly, would be when they finish, but it may run another week after that.
OK, thank you very much for talking to us today, Stuart. Well, there are a total of 10 kilometres of tulips here in Tully's Fields, and as Stuart says, it will open to the public this Friday, the 11th of April. So if you like tulips, you know where to come.
We certainly do, Layla. Thank you so much. That's so uplifting just to see them there. And there was some debate in the newsroom today about where tulips originate from. Perhaps you can let us know your idea of where they originate from, because I can tell you much debate over that. And with that, let's get a check on the weather with Gillian Brown.
Hello there, good evening to you. Well, it's been a beautiful day for many of us across the capital. Plenty of blue sky, the tulips there looking absolutely glorious in that sunshine, and it's been widespread sunshine elsewhere as well. This was Westminster earlier on this afternoon, really beautiful blue sky, not a cloud actually, and tonight, apart from some patchy mist and fog, it will stay clear, so it will give the chance for a little bit of frost to develop and quite a chilly start in that case first thing tomorrow morning. But this is tonight, so very clear, not a lot of cloud at all, apart from that little bit of mist and fog that we might see forming in some spots. Our temperatures could reach down to freezing, so it will be a cool start tomorrow, but once that mist and fog clears away, plenty of sunshine through the course of your Tuesday morning, staying that way into the afternoon, so lots of widespread brightness, not really any cloud at all. Anything we get will be very patchy and light, and our temperatures could reach 17 or 18 degrees. So as we take ourselves through Tuesday evening and overnight, again, plenty of clear sky, still got a little bit of an easterly breeze, and we will see some cloud moving in there further east as we head through the early hours, but temperatures maybe a little higher, around 1 or 2 degrees. But it's the high pressure that stays with us through Wednesday. It's staying over us, keeping things very settled and fine. It will start to move a little bit further southwards as we head towards Thursday and Friday. But you can see we've got quite a bit more cloud through the course of Wednesday morning. It does eventually clear, and by the afternoon we'll see our temperatures up to around 17 degrees quite widely, so feeling very pleasant in that sunshine. As that high pressure slips further south and west, we are going to introduce some warmer air into Friday and Saturday, so it will still be settled and bright, but also we'll notice our temperatures really climbing towards the end of the week, so definitely still plenty of opportunity to make the most of that sunshine. And just look at our outlook, look at all that brightness we've got to come this week, staying in the mid to high teens initially through the first part of the week, 17 or 18 degrees, and then by Friday and Saturday those highs up to around 22 Celsius, so a fine week of weather ahead.
Thank you. A quick reminder of the main headline today. President Trump's import tariffs have continued to cause turmoil on the global stock markets. In London, the FTSE 100 share index dropped to its lowest level in a year, and Asian markets fell to a decade low. That is it for now, so thanks very much for watching. On our website, more on the opening of the Silvertown Tunnel today, including what drivers need to know and who pays. Also, how the historic Grade 2 listed Custom House on the north bank of the Thames could be turned into a luxury hotel. And there's more. The rescue donkeys taking on an unusual job, helping out at a London school. From me and everyone here on the London team, whatever you're doing, enjoy your Monday evening. Bye-bye.